we got to start with the big news. It broke. I mean, looking back on it, Nick Underhill was basically telling us that Sean Payton was going to go to the Broncos, and then sure enough, Jake, a few hours later, it is finalized. Sean Payton going to the Denver Broncos. If you haven't heard the deal specifics yet, the Saints get the 29th overall pick in 2023. So it's a first-round pick this year. They get a 2024 second. The Broncos get Sean Payton, and the Broncos actually get a 2024 third. If your reaction is that giving up the third-rounder feels kind of lame, I agree, but it is what it is. We can get into what this means. What I'll say real quick is I was looking for, okay, is this a good deal or not? Because everybody holds up the Gruden deal. There is a key difference between the Gruden deal and the Payton deal, and that is that John Gruden was actively coaching at the time, whereas Sean Payton was not, right? So if you look for another deal that involved a coach whose rights were taken up but who wasn't coaching, the Bruce Arians deal, as Nick pointed out, New Orleans football makes sense, where when Bruce Arians wasn't coaching, the Cardinals traded Arians and a seventh rounder to get back a Tampa sixth rounder. So I guess viewed through that lens, I think the Saints did a good job of getting value for Sean Payton. And even though there's a lot of emotions and other angles to talk about this on, it made sense to kind of also get this deal done, finalize the breakup, and just allow everybody to move on.
I thought they did a great job getting something, because we didn't know. If he stays on Fox, you get nothing.
Yeah.
And so, Houston makes the move to hire DeMeco Ryans. And by the way, the Broncos in Rappaport had a report that they tried to go in the 11th hour and hire DeMeco Ryans again.
But did you see Shefty and Rappaport?
I know, and they're going back and forth, but I mean, there's something to it. I'm not saying who's right, who's wrong. Right. So there is something to that. I mean, Rapp's been in the game too long for there not to be something there. And so, if they hire DeMeco Ryans, you get nothing. Yeah. So you got something, and you got a first-round pick, and you get a second-round pick, and you'd swap a 3 for a 2 any day.
Yes.
Right? And so, if you want to look at that, you swap a 3 for a 2.
You're right.
And you swap Sean Payton, who wasn't your coach, wasn't going to coach for you again.
No.
There's no way he was. And you get a first-round pick. It's at the end of the first round, but it's a first-round pick.
Yeah, okay, so you made me feel better about it then. It probably is more of a success that I'm giving credit for, just in terms of compensation. I guess what feels a bittersweet, I don't know, man. And I wish that we could get Danny and Mario on the mic, but I know it's a little weird and echoey while we're here, but it is. I'm kind of wondering where Saints fans are at emotionally with all this, because everybody knew it was coming, right? But it still doesn't feel great to think about. I enjoy the Saints. I don't know that I would paint myself as the biggest Saints fan, right? Not to the depth or the validity or sincerity of a Mario or Danny or a lot of my other friends that I know. But even me, when reading the quotes that he's giving to Jeff Duncan about what a great city Denver is and what a great football town, all this other stuff, it just feels. It feels like, the love of your life, your main ex kind of parading a new boo around town. And I guess it's been kind of this entire whole ordeal has felt a bit like Sean Payton saying to us, it's not you, it's me, but it's actually you. And this kind of feels like the final. And I get it, man. You work somewhere for 16 years, you want to move on. I get it. But when you're a hero to the city, you can understand why a man makes a move and still feel a bit damn, that sucks, dude. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
I mean, I understand it. I think it helps the fact that he hadn't coached in a year. So you're away from the game. If he goes straight from the Saints locker room to somebody new, that feeling's probably heightened 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So he's been away from the game. I understand. It's wait a minute, that's our guy. That's our coach, because he had no head coaching experience before he gets to you. So him as your head coach. So I can understand that. And like I said, a little bit of the sting has gone away, but it's Sean Payton. He's the greatest coach in your franchise's history. There's no denying that, so it's going to feel weird. But also, like, it being in the AFC West, completely away from you, you're not going to have to play him that often. I mean, you're going to see him every once in a while. And so it's not going to be a deal where, like, if he went to Carolina.
If he does good, and then you got to, like.
Yeah, if he does good, that's fine. It's over in the AFC. Hopefully you're doing good as well. Hopefully you take a quarterback at 29 maybe, and that quarterback is your quarterback of the future, and you can just all smile.
I feel like a jerk, but, like, us going to the reunion with Dennis Allen on our arm versus Sean coming to the reunion with the Broncos franchise and, you know, this new ownership group, it does feel like maybe he's upgraded in a lot of ways. I mean, sometimes it even gets in a state like, you know, like actual like insecurity about the place in which you live, right? I mean, we love New Orleans, we love Louisiana, but it's not always the most competent. And then you look at somewhere like Denver. We were talking the other day about, like, if you could live anywhere, where would you live? And Denver was high up on that list. Colorado. So I don't know, man. And then so it starts with maybe a little sadness. Then it starts to turn to anger. And then it's like, oh, he quit on the team. Yeah, Sean Payton quit on the team. F him, dude. And he did. I mean, he actually. I mean, you even heard Cam Jordan kind of let that slip at the end of the year interviews, where he seems a little perturbed. So it's
okay. Well, you have to see him at the reunion, but you don't have to see him at the monthly coffee get-together.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to go to the reunion, man.
All right, you know what I'm saying? So the reunion, you're going to see him every couple of years, you know, but you're going to be okay because you don't have to see him all the time, right?
Hey, this is Dennis. Sean. Nice to meet
you. You remember him, like,
Mark Covey said Saints going to draft Stetson Bennett. I am all about Saints Hendon Hooker train. If I don't know, I'm starting to get a feeling, Jake, that Hendon Hooker though might gain a lot of momentum during this process. Maybe not because of the injury and the age, but I know he's here at the Senior Bowl this week. He's taking a ton of meetings. He's putting it very much out there that he's going to be ready to go for summer and fall camp. And I was just reading some quotes today, and he was talking about how exponentially, like, how the mental aspect of his game is exponentially growing. And just all the quotes spoke to someone who has such a clear and defined goal. And granted, maybe he's just very good at saying these things. But, you know, I would say that his play on the field would speak to somebody who follows through on what he says he's going to do. It just speaks to a man who is like whereas Stetson Bennett seems like, I have arrived, you need to come to me. Hendon Hooker, it seems very earnest and sincere and like, no, this is what I'm going to do to make you believe that I can still be that guy coming off of this injury going to the NFL.
Yeah, I don't remember which show I said this on, so stop me if I'm repeating myself. But with Hendon Hooker, him being here, him going through those meetings, him having the opportunity to speak with, you know, is it all 32 teams? Is it all, 20 teams that are interested in him? Whatever it is, like, that is very impactful. Yeah. He's going to have the chance to go show his football IQ, what he knows. They're going to get a chance to know him. So that aspect of it, I love that he's here. Because you're right. Let's call it like it is. Stetson Bennett's not here. Stetson Bennett, forget the arrest, whatever. Public intoxication, okay. He did not bet on himself by being here, right? Yeah. He should be here. He's not. Now, Hendon Hooker is here, and so you can appreciate, him making the effort to be here. But also, like I said, modern medicine, like ACLs are like 7 months now.
Yeah, it's not a
8 months. Deal. It's not a year long anymore.
No.
So if I'm an NFL team, Hendon Hooker is going to be ready for what I do in the summer and what I do in the fall. If I have a first-round grade on him, that grade doesn't go too far away from that because he's going to be ready. If he had a spine injury, if he had a neck injury, if he had something that we did, that's not real, common. It's a kind of a unique injury. Let's have a conversation. Yeah. It's an ACL.
Yeah, ACL's easy.
Look, Joe Burrow had one in his rookie year. He's back, and there's no signs of anything. We can point to 73 different examples. So if you had a high grade on him already, it shouldn't drop that far just because he tore his ACL. So you might get a steal if you did truly, in fact, have kind of a first-round grade on him. And if we see any of our draft experts to kind of cover this, I'd love to ask them that question. Okay, where did you have Hendon before the injury? Because I'm going to take that more than I'm going to take where you're going to have him after the injury.
I wonder Yeah, that's a really good point. I wonder, so like, some people in the chat say he's just a system quarterback, or at least that's what the NFL analysts and scouts are saying. I wonder, is getting on the board one of the ways for him to combat that in the team's minds? Like getting on the board and like answering their questions to show that.
Big,
no,
yeah.
I mean, like how do you get? I mean, system quarterback is such a weird thing to levy because it is real. Like I get it. Like what it's saying is that you can't trust the stats because of the type of offense that they are playing in. But how do you separate like the Patrick Mahomes from like the Graham Harrell, right? And that's I don't exactly know how that's done. I know that one thing for Mahomes is raw arm strength.
I was about to say, hey, catch this ball, throw it down there.
And I know that Hendon Hooker at least has that. So he might be a system quarterback, but he's a quarterback that throws the best deep ball in the entire country.
That one he threw on the left sideline in the south end zone against LSU.
Damn, bro.
He had that thing on a string.
I was wondering why I was getting all these like OnlyFans girls sent to my algorithm. And it was because I was just watching too many Hendon Hooker deep ball montages.
There's a lot there.
Too sexy.
Yeah.
Just you can't be thirsting that hard and not expect the algorithm to start to reflect it.
There's a lot we could say there, but
everybody, not even chicks. I know they used to say chicks, which feels a bit aggressive now. But the old ad campaign, everybody loves the deep ball, Jake. It almost doesn't matter the sport. Right, super long goal in soccer. Who doesn't love it when somebody hits it from midway, goalie's out off his line, and somebody scores from mid-pitch. Full court shots, which I was telling Rivers this yesterday. You know what makes me mad? That basketball players don't at least hit the backboard more on full court shots. Like, you're a professional or a major college basketball player.
Yeah.
Don't airball it.
Yeah.
You should
have
be
it
better.
online.
Have it online and let's give it a chance,
Yeah,
dude.
and if you miss because it's too hard off the backboard, front rims,
that's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
But hit something.
Hit something. Even if it bounced off the top of the backboard, I'm fine with that. It's just when it's like 20 yards off, I'm like, what are you doing? Or when it falls short. Come on, get it there.
Yeah. Push the ball, Sally. I get you.
The deep ball, it rules.